We're recording right now.
Are we on right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
this
wow.
is it.
Oh, shoot. This is official.
Yep.
All right. Well, how are you doing?
I'm great. Hey.
Oh, you should do a formal... Yeah, let's do the formal introduction.
All right, just wait a second. Welcome to CableTime Podcast, Episode 3. Today I have with me Matthew Salcido. Thank you, Matt, for being here today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry for my ass intro.
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, everyone, has their days where the intros are not, up to where they want it to be.
It's okay.
But we're going to get...
mediocre.
No, we're going to get through it. We embrace the mediocrity here. I thought that's what you do.
Oh, it is. Oh, my microphone is loud. Okay.
We all got to start somewhere.
Well, welcome. This is the CableTime Podcast. We talk about whatever we want here today.
So I heard you talk about random stuff.
Sometimes. I definitely have I have not shown the tendency to go off topic like I can.
Well, you're about to do that today because I like to ramble a lot.
Okay. Well, I am definitely.
I'm about to break all of your rules today.
Do it. Let's see how this goes. I am.
So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. There's a lot going on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I haven't seen you in a couple weeks.
I know it's been I think the last time I saw you was 4th of July.
Yeah, we were here.
So it has been a hot minute, as they say.
That was when David was here, right?
Yes, David, our friend David. Yes,
Yeah.
he came down from Vegas. We all had our
David.
fun, our
Yes,
festivities.
that was a fun weekend.
Not as long as I would have liked it to be.
No. It never lasts as long as you
And it never does, especially when your friends come from other states. Yeah,
except
other
for me.
Yeah, well, well, we both live, in California,
Yeah.
LA area. I don't know if is that okay to say?
Yeah, I don't really care.
I don't know how much you
LA
want
is
to
pretty big.
disclose.
You want to find Bede?
Oh yeah, so you live at
No.
approximately. No,
You live at the coordinates of.
but it never lasts long. It never lasts as long as you would like it to be.
I don't know. It's just kind of like a.
Is my beard okay? I started this.
Dude,
I
your
started
beard
growing this beard.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah. You can't see it, like if you're listening, but it's not something that I'm proud of.
But it's okay. It's a start.
It's something that's just
Start-
there.
I mean, I remember the first time I noticed I was growing facial hair. I was in let's just jump right into it. It was in a homeschooling class.
Oh, nice
Friday.
segue, Zach. Nice
And,
segue. It's almost like homeschooling is your
It's
topic.
almost like we were going to talk about that.
I didn't get debriefed before this.
Oh, it's okay. It's not. I mean, it kind of is.
I'm hoping that I'm talking loud enough. That thing is not distracting, but it is something that the
You want to see you talk about?
the audio levels are
There.
interesting.
I changed this so that you don't get.
Oh, this is Audacity.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're just going off topic. But on a quick note, I used to use Audacity in a class.
Yeah.
In a class.
I mean, it's free.
One class.
Yeah.
So do not call me an expert, because I am not. I had to edit Kill Bill, Volume 1, specifically. Volume 1's better than 2 anyways. But I had to edit Kill Bill. I looped the hospital scene, the whistle scene.
Mm-hmm.
That one. I can't whistle. I had to loop that with a new audio track.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very interesting and humbling. Because that was my first foray. What's the word? Foray into.
It's just your first bite into the world of editing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even. Well, when I edited the Link's Awakening video, that was an experience.
Which
Because
is
it was my first time.
also on your channel, by the
Yes,
way. I would like
on
to
my
just plug
newest
that.
channel.
He
Yes,
does
there'll
more
be a
than
link in the
podcasts, ladies and gentlemen.
description to this video. Anyways, when I was editing, I'd never edited a video before. That was my first time ever editing a video. So
It's scary.
I mean, I watched a lot of videos. I watched a lot of. I didn't really watch. I watched some Premiere tutorials, but not in-depth ones. Maybe 15 to 30-minute ones. I wouldn't call that in-depth. I would say it's a quick, rinse over of, hey, here's how you do this really quick, and that's pretty much what I wanted to do.
Like the how-to for dummies.
The bare basics, hey, you can pretty much do this bare bones right here, and that's what it was.
And then you're like, yeah, and then you try it, and you're like, I have no
But then
idea.
on top of that, what I did was I watch a lot of different channels, and so I watch how people. I guess I'm not a plagiarist, I promise. It's just that I just see the different styles people have, and I kind of just. I guess it influences what I think I would want. That's how I edit.
Yeah, mine was more like, hey, this is the criteria for your final. You have 15 weeks to figure this out. And I wouldn't say that I took full advantage of what I had at my disposal. I could have learned a bit more in terms of like properly editing. But I mean, for the most part, I liked it, and it came out good.
That's pretty cool. I've never taken a class on any of this.
So you've never paid for it?
No.
Which is good.
I've never paid for any of the skills I have.
I mean, ideally, you want to learn for free. Especially in this economy.
It's not perfect. I can tell you that. It's definitely not perfect, and it has its own hiccups. I mean, I'm probably running at, I don't know, I feel like my equipment's so mix matched, but it gets the job done, you know?
Yeah.
I'm able to get things off the ground, and I think that's the most important thing. If I could go back with how I invested my money in the entire
I would
system,
I would redo everything.
There's different changes that I would make. But
you know all the Postmates I've ordered. I would definitely wipe that out. Do not use that. No. I mean, as far fetched as it may sound, because we're in a pandemic.
I mean, you see that Uber Eats.
It's gonna drain your money.
I mean, Uber Eats and Lyft left.
Anyways, California, right?
Yeah, California.
Yeah. You know who else left?
Who?
Joe Rogan.
I mean, I'm gonna leave.
More power to him.
That was I was actually the topic that was the topic of my last episode. I was talking about why.
Oh, really?
One of the things I was talking about was why I want to leave, but that's a different subject. Anyways,
you're gonna save that for the other episode. Yeah.
I was talking about how I was in a class about my facial hair. I was in a Holocaust class, and I was feeling my chin.
There's a Holocaust class?
Talking. Yeah, it was like a history class. It counted towards like a year of history.
Oh, wow.
It was like really crammed. And I remember I was sitting there, and I had my thumb on my chin, and I was like, why does it feel spiky?
Yeah.
And I had to go to the bathroom, so I got up to go pee. And I went to the bathroom to look, and boom. My first.
That was your first time remembering.
It was so embarrassing because I knew that they were actually very visible. And
oh my gosh! Did you not realize?
Picking them out. I picked all of them out.
Did you not realize you were getting facial hair?
I didn't know.
Like that was a thing that happened.
I didn't notice it until that morning. No, I knew that was eventually going to happen, but I never like.
When it happened,
when it happened, it was like like flowers. You ever seen a flower bud?
Yeah.
It's really fast. It's just.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah, it just pops. Yeah. You know, so I felt like. That was how my beard was. It was a beautiful flower.
I like your sound effects.
Thank you. It was not.
It's very descriptive.
My lips were very dry. Hold on.
Oh yeah, let me take a drink too. So what are you drinking? You're drinking water. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking a tea that's like 6 hours old.
Oh,
it's been a long day.
Could have got a sweet tea.
I do love these green teas. I'll tell you. It doesn't matter where I get it from. To me, green tea is amazing. Like
matcha or just regular green tea?
What happened?
Matcha or just regular green tea?
Do
you like hot green tea?
It needs to have sugar in it.
Oh, so you're just like, my liver has to get killed.
That's the main criteria, yes. I need to be obese by the time I'm 30 years old. No, I have a thing for tea. I don't know what it is. I'm not really a coffee person. Mm-hmm. Like if you say, hey, let's go get coffee, I'm going to be like, all right, but does it have tea? Like, is there a tea option?
Can we go to the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can we go somewhere that also has tea? Because I'm not a coffee guy. I've never been.
Randy's not a coffee guy. My friend Randy.
Oh, our friend Randy. Yes, yeah. He's not. I mean, we're name dropping people now, I guess.
Sorry, people.
Sorry if he's listening. I mean, we're not. You know, we love you, Randy.
Yeah.
But yeah, facial hair. I mean, it's something that's new to me. You've known me for.
Yeah.
So let's back up. Let's roll this clock back a little bit, so people understand.
Yeah.
I've known you since the earliest memory I have of you is probably. What grade are you in when you're like 7 or 8 years old?
I mean,
it's been too long.
Like kindergarten, like first grade. I don't know.
Is it second grade?
I was gonna say that by school year, I would say that my earliest memory of us hanging out is second grade. And you know who we used to hang out with? I think we used to hang out with Zoe.
Oh,
I think
I don't remember.
That was a weird. It was like a small little friendship.
Was I there?
Yeah, it was me and you.
Oh,
I don't know. I remember you. I have a notorious like. I would say I'm not photographic memory, but like I can I can remember pretty far.
It's
back.
weird because I have like a distinct memory of you when you were young. Well, when we were young, which was like I've told you this before, but I don't care. I'll say it again. You had like those those bracelets that had like all your.
Oh yeah, the
it was like
had my information in case
Yeah.
I got kidnapped by a pedophile.
Yeah, like the collars for
Please
dogs.
don't rape me.
You know, on a collar for a dog, it has like
Yeah.
their information.
Oh, so
like that's not the best analogy, but I used to think it was so cool. Like I was jealous of you. I wanted that.
Dude, that thing was.
I was like, his name's on it, his address. You know,
I remember.
It's all
wearing that
metallic.
all the time. That was. Yeah, I remember wearing that. It was very interesting.
I think when you're homeschooled, because we were, I think that just comes with the territory, having like that protective bubble.
I think your parents are just more aware of the surroundings. I mean, on top of that, we were both.
And I really should have had one. For one reason alone, is I was lost when I was. Oh, I've been told. I don't remember this, but I was actually lost in a mall. My mom said when I was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
She lost me. She never bothered to slap one of those on my wrist.
She's just like,
She's like, yeah,
it's not gonna happen
one
again.
and done. Everyone makes mistakes.
He's afraid now.
yeah, he's
Walk away.
traumatized. He's not. He won't.
He's not gonna leave.
He doesn't want to be. He wouldn't want to be lost, anyways. But that's probably the earliest memory I have of you, and we were at the time, I guess, 7 or 8 years old. That's how long I've known you, and then people go through their life courses and their trials and tribulations, and we didn't talk for maybe a couple years.
Yeah.
Not out of any spite or anything, just we were all doing our own thing.
I mean, time just goes on.
You got busy, you got married, and you had
Kids.
3 beautiful children, and but now we're back, so it's cool.
Yeah, it was funny that you say 2nd grade. Like I said,
I don't know why that's coming
like,
to
that's
my
as
head.
far as back as I think I can remember.
Yeah.
But
I can't go back. I can't go more
there's
than
a lot
that.
of things I remember. I remember things were just so different back then, and just coming from that background to go back to like the bubble that your parents.
So the homeschool
have.
bubble, right?
Yeah, I mean, like
because
I would
just
say
so
like,
it's
sets you
clear.
apart.
Just so it's clear, we were both homeschooled.
I was homeschooled. I was actually homeschooled from kindergarten to 12th grade. I had never gone to public
so you went the whole way.
I've never been to public school.
Oh, that's right, you did. I remember your brother was the first
I am
person
a
to
freak.
do that.
I'm a
Your
freak.
brother did that first,
And
and
I was the second.
yes, but I remember your brother being like a celebrity at the
Dude,
time.
yeah.
Like,
Dude,
oh
he
my
was
gosh,
like,
no one
oh,
does
no,
that.
but he was the first. But he wasn't from I was the first student from kindergarten
All the way.
I think all the way. I think I was the first all the way. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow, yeah, I was.
Maybe my record can be corrected, but I'm pretty sure I was the first in our school to go from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. And now the homeschool doesn't exist
I would love to
anymore,
verify
so-
that, but it's gone.
I can verify that, and I will get back to you, but
Well-
it won't be on this podcast.
Well, that's fine. We'll edit it in or something. Yeah. So I was homeschooled. Oh gosh, I was all the way till 9th grade. And you know what's funny is I didn't want to go to public school. I
No?
thought it was.
You thought you were gonna die.
I thought I was gonna die.
You thought you were
It's
gonna
weird.
get shot?
It's weird when you're homeschooled. You have like this twisted perception of what public school really is. It's like when you actually get there,
I
it's
think all the evil children go there, and they're not wrong.
well. What I thought was
Sorry.
everyone was smart there. I don't know why I thought
Smart?
that. I thought everyone was gonna be smarter than me for some
Mhm.
reason, because everyone can maybe because I thought there was a sense of camaraderie and everyone could assist each other and help each other with their subjects. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, what's up?
Yeah.
What are you doing after school? It was never, what are you doing in your classes? So when I finally got there in 9th grade, it was like a whole different,
This is a different world.
it was like, this is like a whole different universe to me.
I couldn't. I never went to. I remember, I went to Lincoln High, to play in a band for the
Mhm.
Bible Club,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember getting there and just. I think the kids knew I was different. And they were all looking at me.
It's
like I was
weird. Yeah,
I think they
I
they,
think they
like,
knew
had,
too.
Like some radar of like, oh, you're weird.
Like they knew you weren't from a different public school.
Yeah, they were like, you've never been to school, or
Yeah.
I felt like that. I wasn't uncomfortable. It was just I felt everybody looking at me.
I was like
different.
looked at because I was super careful to be extremely formal and respectful and mature towards my teachers.
And they were immature.
My peers were.
Yeah.
They were not. I mean, I shouldn't say they were immature. That was not on the radar at all. They didn't care about the teacher and being respectful to the teacher, nor did they care about being, I guess you could say, just in overall respectful. and mature. So when I walked in, I'm like, oh, hello, this is my name. Is this the class I'm looking for? Like I was all super like,
Polite.
yeah, I was just super
They were
polite,
like,
and they're like, who's this guy? Like he cannot be from this school district. And I think that's what made me stick out almost immediately. And then I still remembered my first day of class after the class had ended. It's a blur. I don't remember the class or what was talked about. But I remember afterwards walking out, and this guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, new guy," and I turned around because I knew he was talking about me. And he's just like, "Oh, so," and he started just shooting the crap with me, like, "Oh, so you were homeschooled?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, well, come to our at lunch, come to our hangout, our spot." And I go, "Okay." I was like, what am I in for, like, so I just took it by faith, I guess. And I went with him, and the rest is pretty much history. I hung out with those guys for the whole time I was in high school. I met some cool people.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I thought everyone was going to be, I guess, like me, because when I say like me, I mean when you're homeschooled, it's like the bar is set pretty high.
Yeah.
In terms of like social interaction with other adults, like from little, I remember.
Yeah, when you're a young kid,
being able to talk to adults.
That's what I was gonna say.
More than my peers.
Yeah, when in homeschooling, especially, so not all homeschooling is like the homeschooling we went through. I know a lot of people think homeschooling, they're like, oh, they spend the rest of their life inside. We had a social life.
No, I had friends.
We had friends. We were through. We were homeschooling through the church that we went to, and we would see the same exact people. We were there. I was at the church almost every day, dude. And
yeah, but it's not like
being involved with people all the time like that. You're expected to be polite. You're expected to not act up. I mean, especially coming from the background.
And why would you? And why would you act up?
Yeah.
Because you've known these people your whole life.
Yeah, and they treat you like
at the time you've known them. They'll tell you, I used to change your diapers, and you remember seeing them at the parties when you were younger, like at the homeschool parties, because we had parties.
Mm-hmm.
We still did stuff outside of class,
Park
like
Day,
Lego World, and I never went to that.
You never went to Legoland?
Side story about that. I remember going through, because we still had yearbooks.
I was gonna bring some out. I'll bring them out.
Oh, you should have brought it out
next time.
Okay, so I would know that my mom purposely didn't take me to things because I would look at the yearbook at the end of the year and I would see what they went to Lego World? Or I'm saying Lego. I'm saying Lego World, but it's Legoland, right?
Dude, I used to do that with.
I was so upset. And then she played it off like, oh, I didn't know they went. Like, come on,
come on, mom.
Literally every other person's there.
Look at Zach's there.
Yeah, Zach's there. What's going on? Except me. What's going on? But because our class, even though our grades may have been different, like I think you were a grade below mine, right?
No, I was a grade lower than you.
You still knew everybody.
What year did you graduate?
2011.
That's the same year I got. So I was a grade lower than you. So when I was in first grade, you were in second grade, and when I got to seventh grade, I did seventh grade. I skipped eighth grade and jumped up to ninth grade with everybody.
Yeah.
So I technically, I've skipped a grade, and.
But what I was gonna say was even if you're like 2 or 3 grades below someone, you still know who they are. We all still went to the same events.
I would say the friend groups probably only ranged in 3 grades. I would not say that it would be more than that because I feel like there was always a maturity level.
Yeah.
We still had to respect the age groups of kids, and obviously a bunch of teenagers didn't want a bunch of 10-year-olds hanging out with them all the time.
Yeah.
So.
But we would have, I swear I had like people way older than me in the same class.
Yeah, we would do the same classes sometimes.
Yeah. Especially there was one with, do you remember Gil? I think his name was like Gilbert.
Yeah, I remember him.
Gilbert something.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
He was okay.
Dude, that guy made me cry.
Did he?
Yeah, he told me to shut up in the middle of class.
He told me something one time because I had said like, and I was talking about the delicacy, right? Because it is an actual delicacy. Yeah. I said something like, "Oh, spotted dick," but I was talking about like the food, and he pulled me to the side and he's like, "What did you just say?" And he's like lecturing me in front of. I was talking to Justin at the time, a guy that we knew back in homeschool days, and he's basically lecturing me about why I shouldn't have said that. But that just comes with the territory when it's like, not only is it private, but it's also Christian, so it's a lot more
conservative.
It's conservative, yeah.
It's really conservative.
So it's a lot more.
We growing up in Los Angeles, even though we grew up in Los Angeles, we grew up in like a super conservative bubble.
Yeah, and we all did. It wasn't just like it was up to our parents. It was like, well, it was, but it was also a community
within inside the urban cities, and it was exactly what that was our community. We may have not all lived on the same cul-de-sac, but we all saw each other all the time.
We all met up at the same place.
You always went everywhere together, and everybody was almost. I stress to say that everybody was friends with everybody because that wasn't true.
At the time, it seemed like we all knew each other. It's
more of like everybody knew everybody.
Yeah,
and I think it's just like school. It's cliquey.
Yeah, there was definitely cliques.
But anyway, that guy made me. We were in his president's class. Do you remember his president's class?
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, we were in this president's class, and I was learning things about presidents and the theories behind why presidents were assassinated and like politics. Back in that, I think I was like 12.
We were way little. Yeah,
I was 12, and I was like, me and my brother were talking. I remember talking to him. I was like, me and my brother were talking, and I just raised my hand, and this is what I said. Me and my brother were talking, and I was wondering, well, do people think that it was really the mafia that assassinated JFK? Because that's a conspiracy. It's got a lot of, it has some weight to it. I don't know how you want to see it, but I just asked that question, and he told me to be quiet because I was interrupting the class, and I was asking a legitimate question about the class, and I'd never had a teacher.
Yeah,
I'd never had a teacher before. And it was weird to me because I've also never had an adult talk to me that wasn't like my parents like that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a bad kid.
Well, when you say you never had a teacher, you did, but it was your parents.
Yeah, but
But this was the first
get that from
instance.
your parents. Like, you get discipline from your parents. It was, and
it was weird coming from someone not.
But I wasn't even doing anything that required discipline because I didn't do things like that.
You were just asking a question.
I asked a question.
As all students
and I got disciplined in front and reprimanded in front of everybody. And he made me upset. And I remember I was a more sensitive kid. I'm not afraid to admit that, and I cried. And
yeah, well, because
he tried to talk to me after class, and I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I told him to leave.
It was uncalled for.
And he tried talking to my mom, and I told my mom what happened, and she went and talked to him and told him, hey, that wasn't cool. He was just asking you a question, and he apologized to me. I wasn't upset afterwards about it. I got over it.
Where do you think that they found these people to teach us?
They were just people who went to the church.
Yeah, but
I don't even remember who he is. I'm pretty sure he's
looking back, I wonder who
related to us. Not related, I mean, but somebody who's related to somebody we know.
Yeah, like what qualified him of like all people to do that?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I couldn't tell you. It's weird. I remember we had a lot of different people come through teaching different classes.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It's not like they had to be licensed or anything.
The curriculum had to be approved. It had to be approved curriculum, and that's how you homeschool. So it's the school board certifies certain curriculum that has to be. It's like a cover-all basis, like curriculum.
We're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah. So as long as they're learning from this and they're doing it correctly, and you have the work to show it, like to back it up, and all the history of it and everything, your kid went to school.
Yeah.
And that's what your parents keep. It's probably different now. Homeschooling is probably very computer-based now.
Oh, for sure. Even public school.
I wish that I was homeschooling now because I think homeschooling. I feel like I would excel at homeschooling right now.
Yeah, well, everyone's homeschooling now.
Well, technically,
they have no choice.
Yeah. What? I mean, that's a whole nother.
And we're fortunate because you see, like, I was talking to my coworker and he was expressing to me that his son has deep trouble paying attention and keeping focused. It's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. Looking back, it certainly was something that I was just used to because I grew up in it. I didn't know any better. But I could see how certain children cannot adapt to that, especially if they're coming from public school and they're being placed. Because we went
in a homeschool environment, yeah.
Like I went from homeschool to public, but it's the reverse now. They're going from public to homeschool, which is I can't imagine that.
Some kids excel really well. I think the kids who are like self-disciplined at school excel really well at homeschool because so they're able to schedule themselves, so they schedule everything perfectly that suits them, and then they're done.
Yeah.
For me, homeschooling was a blessing and a curse. I think I loved homeschooling,
but see, we had a different upbringing because I seen something that said an article saying that now everyone's being raised with their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Like these kids, these 8, 9, well, maybe 10, 11, 12. I don't want to sound ignorant, but I would assume presumably 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old kids, yeah, they're all growing up with phones. And I seen an article that basically said that that's innately teaching them to be, or I guess to have like no real attention span, because they're constantly trying to get
answers.
They're constantly getting updates, notifications, refreshes. So it's training them to like constantly need information, new information. So like imagine taking that kid and now you're placing him in front of a screen and he has to pay attention to the class over Zoom in his house. There's 1,000 things going on in the house. There's 1,000 things distracting him. There's no way he's going to learn anything. And
I think that whole Zoom, well, I think they're going about it the wrong way, and they don't have the right people in charge to. If you want me to be honest, I don't think they need a teacher.
Well, this is definitely a Band-Aid on like a bigger.
It's definitely a
situation.
bigger issue, but the thing is that what this does prove is that I think you should make physical school now a type of. Why not make all physical school private and public school at home?
That's interesting.
You would save money on having to pay for everything for children, like food and, for them to be there, and you would allow them, and you'd find a way to incorporate. I'm not saying this is my master plan. This is me just coming up with this on the fly.
Yeah,
I think it would definitely work. Is if you incorporated it so that anybody who wanted to really go to school for that experience could go. But like, if you wanted to give free school,
yeah,
why not do it at home the way they're doing it?
That's a very
now?
conservative idea. I don't know if that'll.
Nobody will do it.
I don't know if that'll pass in California.
No, but I think it's a very
interesting.
I think it's what we're learning is we've already shown that it's not really necessary. How much money gets wasted in the public school sector?
I have no idea.
If I wish that I had researched this stuff.
Yeah,
it wasn't supposed to be.
No, now we're just
this
talking.
Is more
off
of just
the,
off
subject.
Cuff.
Yeah,
and I just kind of realized there's a lot of things that go into the public school sector and the school unions and how they influence the education system and what kids are learning and where money goes and what money gets funded. I mean, think about it. There's a lot of really bright kids in schools. There's a lot of kids that need a lot of different kind of attention that they aren't getting.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things I think schools excel in is sports academia.
But see, I feel like
I'm not against it either. I think it's perfectly fine that we have athletes in this country. It is an amazing thing, and this is how we find them. I think we need to start realizing that the way that the world is evolving in technology and science is that we need to start incorporating the same kind of scouting measures that we do for those things and incorporating them into things that matter in other sectors, because we have that down. We got professional athletes all over the world playing for different sports leagues and different teams all over the place that come from schools all over America, all over the world.
Oh yeah, I know. And the thing that I want to go back to, you said, there's certain kids not getting their proper like one-on-one focus and like attention. Is I feel like we got that in homeschooling.
Yeah.
If there was something that maybe you had an issue with, or there was a kid that needed special treatment in terms of like extended one-on-one teaching, everyone got that.
Yeah.
For the most part. But in a public school, it's like, okay, now there's incrementally more kids in the class. It's not 5 or 6 or 7 like we had.
The teacher doesn't have the time to talk to 30
No.
kids, about a problem.
It's like the difference is every day for us is parent-teacher conference.
Every day.
Versus, like,
Twice a day for me. It was like in the morning with my mom and at night to my dad.
Yeah.
Dude, every day. It was like a debrief.
And then in public, it's like once every semester.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Do you think that you would homeschool your kids now?
Oh, dude, I'm definitely homeschooling my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to go into why, I can go into why, but it's very political.
Well, it's your show. I have no problem with it.
I think I have a lot of reasons why I want to homeschool my kids.
What's your top 3 reasons?
I don't want my kids to be indoctrinated into something that's going to make me not like them.
That's very fair to say.
I
You
think that's
you you want as a parent, I would think, to like your kids.
I think it's a very important thing that I care about who they are and the things they care about. And if what they care about isn't something that, not to say that they can't have their own wants, but say they, I mean, look at our generation and how we're burning down different cities of America because we're throwing temper. That's how I take it. I don't care if somebody gets offended. That's what I consider a lot of the rioting is temper tantrums and spoiled, petulant children not getting their way. I think there's obviously a lot of undertone that they use as a is capable of doing to people who tried to squander or destroy what we've built up.
And history is also capable of repeating itself.
Yes. And not that I don't wish any kind of anything on anybody. I wish that all things would just stop. I'm a dad of 3 children, and I wish the madness would just stop.
Yeah.
It is. I don't like
So
turning on
you
the news
think
every day.
that homeschooling would prevent your kids from going down the same path that some of these more extreme
I think it's already too late.
writers
and
would
I
be
feel
on.
like if my kids definitely.
In other
go
words,
to
you think that
school,
these
my kids will be
extremists
indoctrinated
got it from
into-
school, from public school.
I think my kids can have the potential to be indoctrinated into whether or not it's you want to call it leftist rhetoric or not. Then maybe that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect of it is I don't want my kids to grow up in a lifestyle that's constantly about self-gratification or be taught that things are okay for them to do when they don't
As long
really
as it suits
understand
you.
themselves. And I think there's a lot of self-discipline that a lot of us lack already. And self-indulgence only leads to destruction. I mean, look at if I go to McDonald's and I eat McDonald's all day because I love it, eventually I'm going to get diabetes or I'm going to get really sick. I'm going to get, it's a possibility I can get cancer. I could just, start secreting oil out of my pores and smelling. I mean, there's a lot of consequences that can come from me doing that.
Yeah, then imagine telling a kid that you can do that. Oh,
imagine
they'll love it.
Imagine just telling them that they could pretty much partake of whatever they want, whenever they want, forever, and it's okay because they want
that's
to.
a recipe for
I
disaster.
don't feel
right
like
there.
it has nothing to even do. I can get into the reasons why I want to as a Christian. I can get into the reasons why is because I'm a conservative. I can get into the reasons why is because I don't want. I think I don't want to take them out of the city. But my major reason is that I think that I can. I think homeschooling allows you to learn self-discipline.
Yeah,
And
of
with
course.
that self-discipline comes being able to make responsible decisions in hard times, because not everybody's able to do that.
Definitely not every adult that I've encountered. Yeah, like homeschooling, looking back, there was a period when I thought, yeah, maybe if I had kids, I would probably just put them in public school because there's certain things that you're told not to indulge in, not only as like being a homeschooled kid, but also being like in a Christian environment that I figured kids are just going to indulge in anyways.
Yeah.
And putting like a big red flag on it is just going to make them want to do it more.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I was like, no, I'll just let them go to public school, get out of the way. And,
You figured I did. I mean, not to say that. I mean, I've had my fronts of things that I shouldn't have done. And yeah, you're exactly right. Growing up as a Christian from childhood to now, I can definitely see the red flags that come with being a new Christian. And it's almost like how funny it imitates the story in Genesis of Adam and Eve, is that sin is the fruit and you desire it, even though you know you're not supposed to partake.
yeah,
It's a
but
funny thing because you're taught
but
from the
when you're
beginning.
homeschooled, it's like everything's the fruit. And like,
and
I
that's
can't
the hard-
even, I can't even do basic things that I see all the
Yeah.
other kids doing. Like,
I can't even watch Disney movies, and I can't have
Yeah,
Pokemon
Harry Po-
cards,
yeah,
and I can't
yeah.
watch Harry Potter.
yeah, so for those listening, like Harry Potter was not something that you could watch.
Dude, I remember my mom told me it was like
Pokemon,
devil.
that was like Voldemort. You couldn't say that word. Pokemon was like, are you kidding me? I remember one of my teachers, and when I was like really young, she was like, oh no, somebody brought up Pokemon, like Pokemon battles. And she was like, what? No, you cannot say that. And like, so little things like that, it's like they put head chips on you.
It's ridiculous. I remember one time I was on this has nothing to do with homeschooling. It has everything to do with our high school youth group. I was on a beach trip. I had just gone to Best Buy and I got some headphones. They were red. You remember like Skull Candy
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
having
yeah,
colored
yeah.
headphones was like really cool back in like the early
Oh yeah,
2000s,
when Skull Candies
dude.
were like the
Dude,
the
I got a
best thing
pair
ever.
of red gummies. They were pretty cool. They looked like
Uh-huh.
I liked them. They were like
I
jelly.
thought Skull Candies were dope.
And they were in ear. But I hate in earbuds. Anyways, I got a pair, and I remember I just gotten my iPod. And if you don't know anything about me, I never listened to Christian music when I was a kid. I listened to.
So you're a rebel homeschooler.
I never listened to Christian music. I'm not. I don't hate Christian music. I did not like
It's not very
listening to it
good.
for my enjoyment, and I saw it as a thing I did with God. I thought, worship music is for worshiping God, and I sing to the Lord when I sing worship music. But it doesn't mean that all music is specifically meant, I think, to express. Obviously, it's not meant to express worship to God. So, why would I listen to that music? I'm just listening to music to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I used to listen to a lot of like rock and roll back in
There's a
junior
place. There's
high
a place for worship music, definitely.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the alternative, like Christian rapping, Christian rock, like things like that, it was never very. To me, it was never very good. Like there was, I was growing up on like Kanye West and like Jay Z
because
of my sister.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And I was told So, anyways, that's a segue. Hold on. And I was listening. I remember I was listening to Aerosmith. It was
Aerosmith's good.
There,
Yeah.
and
I like Aerosmith.
one of our youth leaders comes over to me. He's like, "Hey, what are you listening to?" And I was like, "I was listening to music." You remember they made a rule that you couldn't take your iPods on trips.
And so this is a good point that I was that I was like I'm glad you mentioned this because this is what I'm saying when I say, well, I don't want to give my kids all these unnecessary head trips.
Yeah, and they were like, "Why did you bring your iPod?" And I was like, "Because I went on the bus by myself because all my friends were driving in a car to meet up at the beach, but I took a shuttle from the church to go because I went by myself. I was with the high school group because my parents weren't going to go.
Was it a one-day beach trip or was
it was a Saturday.
Summer camp?
It was a Saturday. It was a one day beach trip. And then on top of being asked why I brought my iPod, they asked me why I was listening to Aerosmith. And I was just like, this is just the music I listen to. I was like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of things that I think back to about youth group. And I go, why was that such a big deal? Why would you put that constraint
Well,
on
now that I'm
everybody?
older, though, I notice I kind of understand where they were coming from because I don't know where they were in their walk at the time. When I say walk, I mean their relationship to God. But I do know what it's like to like be suddenly you're on fire. Suddenly everything to you is it's God or nothing.
Totally.
It's God or nothing.
No, it's the mountaintop.
And like
yeah,
any little thing of the world is like no. I don't want it.
But you see what that's doing when you
I could see if they were then trying to instill that in you.
That's not right. And you
and
can't
I don't agree that that's
and that's where
okay.
So we're on the same base there, and I think that was complete BS. I think
it's what it felt.
I understand.
You know what it felt like to me?
What?
It's like when you're a kid and they say don't touch the stove, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
It was more like they said everything around you is the stove.
Yeah, so you can't
don't touch anything.
Don't think, and you can't think.
And
about
matter
it
of fact, just go to church, but don't touch anything.
I love Jesus, and I love
when
Jesus.
you're not at church.
I love Jesus. Let me
Yeah.
emphasize that. For anybody who thinks I'm criticizing my church or I'm criticizing my walk or my God, I'm not. And I'm criticizing the person that told me why I bring my iPod.
Yeah, this isn't a knock
I'm
on
just
Christianity.
talking about
This
how
is just
silly I thought
the institution
it was
of it. Yeah.
that I wasn't allowed to have my iPod. Maybe there's some people that would disagree with me when I was in high school. Maybe there's some people that disagree with me that I went to church with.
And the philosophies have changed a bit. Like I think now everyone, I don't expect now they have that same rule.
Dude, I was told, I went to JCPenney's and I bought an AC/DC zip-up hoodie, and I remember wearing it to church, and I remember somebody I knew told me it was a devil hoodie. And
yeah,
but
but
it's just like that's the kind of stuff you would get told. So it's like really funny. I experienced like what you think I used to think I would get made fun of for going to public school, and that's why I didn't. One of the reasons.
But
why
we
I
took
didn't
all the
wanna
hits
go.
in homeschool.
But I got made fun of in homeschooling and church, like Christians.
Exactly. So
And
part of me is like, okay, I don't want to put my kids through that. But now, like after everything that I've started to pay attention to, I feel like, oh my gosh, I can't put them in public school.
I don't think I don't have a problem with.
It's like diminishing returns. Like if I could instill values in them at the home,
Yeah, it's your job. I'm going to say that and emphasize that I'm a parent, and I think it is my job
Yeah.
to instill values.
Because what I'm seeing is
and
they want to
character in my
instill these
children.
values in themselves.
Yeah, and
It's
they
like,
want
just give me your kid and we'll tell them everything they need to know.
It's my right first off to decide
Totally.
what my kids are indoctrinated with. Whether anybody wants to think that I'm not giving them free will or not, it's my household. And secondly,
But
it's not
there's
their
certain
job
values that are
they don't raise them with family values.
no.
My children
exactly.
are not raised
There's
with
certain
family values.
There's
If
certain
they were
values
not to be raised in my household, because if they were to go to the public school, the system does not have my values at heart. They have their values at heart, or what they think their values should be.
But that's just it. There are certain values that they do not recognize as specifically family values.
Yes.
In other words, they cannot teach that. That's something that is up to the parents, like you.
Yeah, totally.
To instill in their
it's
kids.
like missing the bus. And by the time, say, I put them in public school from K to 7th grade.
Yeah.
Dude, that's once 7th grade. I'd say that before 7th grade, some of those years are the most influential years of like a child's life. Instilling like certain rules and instilling like how they should be treated by people, and those are the kind of things that I want my kids to understand. And I do not believe, on top of, I don't want my kids to be indoctrinated with things that's going to make me not like them. I want them to have the same values that I have, and I want them to carry on my legacy. As selfish as that sounds.
No, it's not.
I think the things that I care about for my family are important for them to carry on, to care about their families, and to teach their families, to teach their families, and so on. That's the point of a generation. That's the point of family.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in America have missed that. I think people have had children and have not instilled their
I think they
will
just don't know that it
their
exists.
generational history and their family honor into their children any longer, because we just dump them in front of a TV or the internet or send them off to school. And because I work 40 hours a week and mom works 40 hours a week and we don't have time for you, so you spend all your time on TikTok and Twitter and
Oh gosh,
YouTube.
are they going to ban it?
I don't know. I know that TikTok's fighting it.
Yeah.
But I cannot allow my children to grow up in an environment that is going to set them up for them to hate me. Too.
Yeah.
Also, that's also a fear of mine. I don't want my kids to hate me especially because somebody tells them to.
Yeah.
That's not what I want. Because of the way I think or what I believe.
Yeah, that you're a bigot or,
Yeah. I
Something's
definitely
wrong with
care
you.
about those things, and it's insane how easy people let their children be influenced. They don't even think about it. I think they don't even think about how their children are being influenced.
I know I've had peers and I've had acquaintances where their parents just prop them up in front of, their school and say, go have a nice day, and that's it. There's no real interaction.
Yeah,
and they leave it up to the schools to teach them everything. There's certain things you have to be taught in the home.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like, look, how can you?
But we know this because we were homeschooled.
You were talking about respecting the
teachers and all that. Yeah.
Okay, you know what happens? If you don't respect your mom, you get a whooping.
Yeah.
At least that's what happened to me.
I don't know if that's politically correct to do anymore, but I got spanked. Yeah, we all got hit. I only got hit once.
And if anybody wants to say it was wrong, I ain't pressing charges. I'm cool with it.
I'm told I was only hit once. I was one and done.
No, dude, I got spanked.
My brother, not so much.
I got spanked frequently.
Yeah.
I don't hold it against my parents. I think that it's insane. I think that it's hot. It's not about being spanked. It's about the respect. It's about respecting adults, and it's. You go to other countries. Children don't act like our children here.
Well, there is a line that if you cross it, it's
you go to other countries.
You have to do something about it.
Speak out. You go out to the Middle East somewhere and you speak out. Your dad can like slap you in the face.
Oh yeah, we don't have it like the other countries.
Yeah,
do.
dude, it's insane. Like it's not even about. I don't think it has anything to do with. People want to chuck everything up to abuse. It's about respect.
Yeah, there's a line that you don't cross.
Yeah,
the kids don't know the line. It's up to you as a parent to teach them the line.
And that's why they don't know the line outside while they're protesting.
Yeah.
That's exactly why.
They were never taught.
So you want to talk about why I care about these values? What those family values are? all these things correlate.
Of course.
I think they correlate. Maybe people will call me crazy.
And that's lost if you put them in. What I think you're getting.
It's lost to a majority.
What I think you're trying to get at is it's lost if you put your kids in public school.
Yes, sure they have the chance to succeed wherever they go because I think they're smart kids. I think I'm not even trying to handicap them. It's not even like I'm trying to hold them back from anything. I think that my children have the potential to succeed wherever because this is America and they are given a lot of chances for a lot of
I think
things.
you're preparing them for like the university level because there's kids that, well, I don't want to call them kids now. We're all adults, but there's people in my classes that they just eat up anything that these professors are saying. And 9 times out of 10, these professors are basically just indoctrinating them into their own beliefs and ideologies.
I definitely think that homeschooling allowed me to form my own thought about things.
So I was going to say 9 times out of 10, the outlier is me because I already know what they're saying is BS.
And it's not even because you're on the other side of the spectrum. It's because, you know what the funny thing is about a lot of people make fun of me. Well, maybe not a lot of people. I don't talk to a lot of people.
It's okay. Anymore. You're busy. You have kids.
I know the majority of the average everyday person, if I was to talk to them about my political beliefs, I would probably be argued with. At least that's my assumption.
You can't say anything. You can't say anything anymore, and so everyone wants to argue.
Well, anyways, I was trying to say is that I don't think that I lost my train of thought.
Well, like you can't say anything anymore. Like even so I just started school again at university, and the first thing they asked us, and this is the first time this happened was, I've been going to school forever. I've been going to that university for 3 years now. Mm-hmm. This is the first instance where the professor, day one, says, "Okay, everyone's gonna list your pronouns," and I was like, and we're on Zoom, right? And you could see us, you could see our faces. So I mean, I'm pretty sure it's easy to tell who's a her and who's a he, but nonetheless, so everyone's saying, you know, like this girl goes up and she goes, "I go by her," and she and her, obviously, right? No brainer. And then it comes up to me, and I didn't even say it. I just lost that. It just slipped my mind, because why would what about I wanted to say, what about this face looks like it's a she or a her? Obviously, I'm a guy, and you can make the case. Well, guy doesn't mean that you identify as a he or
maybe
a him.
Your biology and your sex are different in your mind.
Which to me is I don't agree with that, but I don't agree with a lot of things that these professors want us to agree in or indulge ourselves in.
I was going to say, I remember what I was going to say. I believe homeschooling allowed me to have a ability to have a free thought and form my own opinions. Because, like I said, I wasn't in a situation where I was being taught indoctrination, or at least to what they expected me to be in their society, I guess.
What do you say to, because I was told this and it had me thinking, what do you say, because we're talking about indoctrination, right, into other ideologies, but I was told one time, well, you two were also indoctrinated.
I was indoctrinated.
You're saying, you don't trust indoctrination coming from these universities and stuff, but you yourself was also indoctrinated.
We've all been indoctrinated by different things.
Yeah.
But for anybody to say that's foolish. Yeah, that's an obvious statement. And everything you've learned throughout your life is indoctrination. And there's correct indoctrination and there's wrong indoctrination. Do you think it's okay for people to indoctrinate their children into being Nazis?
Exactly.
That was okay at one point.
Yeah, it was deemed okay.
It's not okay to indoctrinate
just because
your children
it's deemed okay.
It's not okay to indoctrinate your children into being petulant children that are supposed to be dependent on the system and not work for themselves. That is not what you're supposed to indoctrinate.
Well, first of all, it's anti-American.
It's not even about anti-American. It's being helping your brother in reality.
Yeah.
You are taking from those who have worked hard for their families, for some of them for their families, burning their businesses down. For what? For a racial equality. Maybe that's a sore subject.
Yeah, meanwhile, the black businesses are being burned to the ground.
Meanwhile, I heard a story about somewhere in Portland where in the shopping district, it's an uppity area, or it was in Chicago. I'm sorry, I misspoke. In an uppity area of Chicago where there was a protest happening, one of the girls went up and took the mic away from the person speaking and told them, "We are being hunted in the streets." The next day, A police officer was blocking people from going into the shopping expensive district of Chicago, and a group of black women, 6 of them, were eating at this table of an expensive restaurant, and there's nothing wrong with that. The thing is that there was a cop right there not hunting down a group of black women. They are petulant, spoiled children that have not been taught values.
What do you think their end goal is? Because I feel like you can't appease people like that.
No, it's the end goal is just
I seen a video at the
complacency.
scene, Minnesota, I think it was. I seen a video of a guy at the scene, and he was interviewing these people, and this guy was like, "We're just gonna burn it all down to the ground, and then I guess we'll see what happens after that." And he goes, "Really? That's your goal? You're just gonna destroy it all?" He goes, "Yeah, burn it all down, and we're just gonna." No, I'm serious. He's like, "We're just gonna rebuild it, and we're gonna have a new system."
Do I think
you can't do that though? You can't. The system's already in place.
It's how they perceive their reality. It's because of now. This is coming back to the same thing I just said.
The victim mentality.
It's the indoctrination
of being a victim.
They've been indoctrinated with being the victim and being told that they're owed something.
Yeah.
You know what I was told? My mom told me growing up that I better be a productive member of society, because if I wasn't, not that she would disown me, but she would be very disapproving of my life. And you know what? Being homeschooled and having those family values made me realize that I actually care about becoming something, especially to somebody like my parents, who sacrificed everything in their lives for me to live, to eat, to be brought up correctly, to have the correct, views of life, and to prepare me to send me out to have conversations with people and not throw tantrums when I don't get my way.
Yeah.
I wasn't sent out, and I wasn't given these opinions that I have so that I can be called a bigot or a Nazi because of who I vote for. I formed these opinions on my own. Nobody told me to form them. Sure, you want to say that the church helped me influence them? 100%. I think everybody's indoctrinated with different things. And I think
so just because we ourselves were also indoctrinated, it doesn't mean that we're coming from a place of one indoctrination is better than the other. It's just good ideas versus bad ideas.
Yes. It's 100% good ideas from bad ideas.
But see, we can't discuss good versus bad anymore because...
What is good?
Well, yeah.
It's relative.
You would think that we could have a discussion about it.
It's almost there. When we used to ask... So the moral question I used to ask when I used to go evangelize, I remember talking to... he was an atheist. In-N-Out once. And he was telling me that there is no moral, compass, and there is no morality, and all these laws that we have are...
Yeah.
They're all based in,
they're ever changing.
Fear. And I remember asking him, if I walked into the In-N-Out and I committed a crime of hurting somebody or multiple people, and would that be okay? Would you be okay with that? You wouldn't be horrified by that? Like, your heart wouldn't drop if somebody just murdered somebody in front of you? I mean, like, people feel things. Well, when you see evil, and to say that evil doesn't exist, that's an insane concept.
Well, that opens up another conversation.
It's not about spiritual. It's about man. And I think man is the first, it's funny. Growing up, being in the church for a long time, I do believe in spiritual things.
As we all did.
But I have since lost my fear of those spiritual things that I think can hurt me, because I think people, my friend Tim explained that to me once, is that people are what scare him. People are unpredictable. Spirits, we were told that spirits shudder at the name of God, in the name of Jesus, and answer to us as disciples of Jesus. But people don't. People have free will.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to hurt you, your family, do something to you, they can. And I can't stop. I can pray, and I can ask God to protect my family, and I do every day.
Yeah.
And don't think that this family won't protect itself, because I will. But every day, it's people that remind me of what I want to protect, not spirits. So I pray over my children that God watches them in their hearts. But I also pray for him to protect this household and my children, because I don't trust people.
No, especially when they're being encouraged to go out and do as they please, as you said, to indulge in whatever they want.
It's indulgent. It's the purge is happening right now, and I mean, for some people, it's like a group purge. Like Group A went, and we're waiting for Group B to board, and Group C, and so on and so on until anarchy is happening. One group's able to get away with a lot of crimes, and it goes completely unchecked. And that's the fear that I have, especially.
It's encouraged. It's encouraged by celebrities.
It really
if it sounds like if it sounds to them that what they're doing is just in the form of, you know, addressing inequality in the system, whatever they want to justify it with, it's deemed okay, even though they're clearly committing crimes, they're clearly looting, they're clearly committing arson, they're clearly bringing weapons now, and shooting at people, and
executing
them in the streets.
Kids, I'll say this. People are in places that they shouldn't be, and you should go home. You should go home because people are getting hurt. People should be going home now because it is a serious matter. This is a very serious matter. This is no longer a movement for the summer. This is no longer a summer we're going to remember, and it's not Woodstock. This is peace. People are being killed now. This is no longer safe for me to go downtown. There was a riot in South Central 3 nights ago. 2 weeks ago, there was a riot in downtown LA. They trapped the rioters in a tunnel and arrested them. Here. It's already starting here.
Yeah.
So it's happening all over the place. And we're seeing a constant rise of people who think they're entitled to these opinions. They're entitled. They feel entitled because they think they still feel so strongly about what they do that they have a right to change everything. But
they're definitely entitled to having their own opinion on the world and things like that, but they're not entitled to use that reasoning to go out and commit crimes.
No.
Especially what you're seeing in Portland. What is it, day 80 something?
Day over 100 now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
I'm looking at the footage because I'm on Twitter all the time. It's freaking addicting. I should not have Twitter. But you see all this, it's just insane. You see all of this crime taking place. You see everyone in the streets. No one's home. Everyone has weapons and, you know, graffiti and smoke. And you're looking around. You don't see cops. And it goes back to what you were saying, which is you fear man. Or, well, you don't fear man, but you fear people.
I don't believe that.
Because I would fear people too if there's no law.
Come to here. Say a mob of 100 people come here right now. There's a police station up the street. But do you think they're really going to be able to do anything?
No.
Nobody's going to do anything. They're going to be told to call off. Unless
they're
for
already
once
being
they're
told.
Trying to, unless they do something for once.
No, they're already being told.
But from what I've been seeing is they're not doing anything. So how am I supposed to believe that
there was entire districts in Georgia, precincts of police they were just walking out.
Yeah.
Because they had no.
They weren't being respected.
They had no way to
conduct
their.
That comes back, like I said,
job.
The family values. And that's why I'm going to homeschool my kids. That's one of the biggest reasons why.
I'm glad we went all the way back around to that. And that's why we're going to be homeschooling our kids, because we don't want them to turn into rioters. As far-fetched as that may sound, that's basically what we're saying.
You don't homeschool your kids, they turn into rioters.
Yeah, they're going to be burning down KFCs or AutoZones.
I want people to teach their kids their family values. And maybe some of your values line up with the systems. And you want your kids to go to public schools. I can't even say anything.
I'm just tired of everybody wanting to apologize or demanding apologies.
But you can't sit here and tell me what I am to teach my children. I don't know what the future holds, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, Matthew.
Oh, I like your reference there.
Anyways, that was a long tangent of.
Oh, it was good. I liked it.
Of home. I was gonna ask, what's something that you remember? Just to get in the lighter subject, what's something you remember that was?
Let's get away from the dark
maybe
stuff.
Something that was crazy that you remember from homeschooling, like maybe something that wouldn't have happened in public school.
Every day, essentially. Something that wouldn't have happened in public school. Let me see. Definitely like the constant interaction with adults. We were constantly talking to people that were not our age at all.
Like 50-year-olds.
You know, people that were our parents' age.
Yeah.
Which in turn helped me, I think, because it goes back to like me being able to be respectful to my teachers when I first got to public school, and just to communicate with them like an adult would, I guess. That definitely wouldn't have happened in public school, I think. It's almost like adults in public school are like the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, it's almost like right now, the rioters and the law enforcement. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you got to stay away from those guys. Get them out of here. Especially like, you know, like one time, like in public, whenever we would have like substitute teachers, it was like, oh, we're going to have a field day today. We're just not going to listen. We're not going to listen to a thing he says. And I'm guilty of partaking in this. You know, we're just going to have our day today. You know, we're going to do whatever we want. We're going to bust out the iPods. We're going to bust out our flip phones because that's what we had.
Dude, I was pretty. I used to.
We didn't have anything smart back then.
I used to lie about doing schoolwork. I had to do an entire year of school in the summer.
Oh, wow.
Year because I lied about doing my school for a year. That was insane.
I knew someone. I knew somebody that did not graduate, and that was rough.
Dude, that was.
I felt bad. I really felt for that guy.
I can't even. I remember that was the conversation I had to have. It was before I was a senior, but I remember my parents talked to me and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna have to hold you back if you don't do this." And I was like, "Oh, I know that was like an embarrassment to me."
Yeah,
I would have been so embarrassed if
I can't graduate with all my friends.
All my friends are great ahead of me, and dude, I would have been because of the fact that I knew a lot of kids made fun of me. I knew I would be made fun of for that.
Yeah,
that terrified me. Homeschooling definitely, especially in the system that we did, it was not perfect and had its own caveats of clickiness.
Still miles better than public school.
And I think even elitism, people who thought they were higher than others. It's really scary.
That's just human beings in general and being, part of a social group.
But if you think that you don't experience it homeschooling, I got it. I feel like maybe people will say I'm being over exaggerative about it, but I believe I remember times I was mistreated. I think homeschooling did teach me though that self-discipline, self-respect, and confidence.
It's funny because
confidence in myself.
I was always told Downey was the cliquey church.
Dude,
not ours.
It was our church.
To the point where I actually knew a guy. I had a friend. He was my neighbor. We were in I think 7th grade. Mm-hmm. He went to Downey, and I was like, "Oh, you go to Downey? You go to that church? Like you go to the place where they give you the side eye. You don't go to the
free place.
You don't go to the cool place where we talk to everybody. But I was on the other side of it. I wasn't really part of the cliques. Too. Yeah, I mean, I was part of the cliques.
Yeah, you were part of the clique.
Yeah,
that's why
I was part of the problem. I just didn't know it.
But I don't think you like.
I was very ignorant to.
I don't think it was like you.
Well, I was ignorant to the fact that we had cliques.
Yeah, I was a outsider. It's fine. I really don't care. I'm happier. I think I'm happy.
Yeah, but I mean that just speaks to your personality. Everyone's unique. Everybody has their own.
That's what I mean. Why I think my homeschool experience really allowed me to find out who I spent a lot of time by myself.
There's people that don't know who they are.
In my own thoughts.
35 years old, they don't know who they are.
As a child, that's what I'm saying. As a child, I think I was able to figure out a lot about myself early on, and I think that's what allowed me to be mentally more mature in a lot of instances.
Well, you certainly have a lot of free time to think about that stuff when you're homeschooled.
Yes. I think
it definitely matures you.
Yes.
Like
you're forced to. Because
you definitely are forced to.
You're only the people you talk to every day is your parents who are adults, and you have to respect them. So you have to be mature.
And they instill goals in you at an early age, like what do you want to do, what do you want to be when you're older. Like same thing that they ask you in public school, but they don't wait till you're a junior to ask you that. They tell you that when you're like 8 years old, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
And it's something that stays in your back of your mind while you're going about, just going to school. So yeah, it definitely matures you. There's things in life that mature you, I think, but homeschool is definitely something that pushes you forward over that edge.
One of the coolest things I think I remember about, I think every school gets to go do this, but I think it was cool that we got to go to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was really
field
awesome.
Trips.
Before they burn it down.
Hopefully not. Yeah, all the statues we saw, I don't know if they're still there. We got to maybe go on Google.
I was actually really,
let's go on Google Earth and check it out.
White House? And we saw. Do you remember seeing George W. Bush?
Where were we?
Did you see him at the White House?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah.
I have that
I
on
remember
video.
Millie was freaking out.
Dude, I have it on video. I have
Do
his
you?
face on video.
Oh, wow, you do?
Waving at me. Yeah, dude. I remember. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever met anybody who's seen a president.
That's when I thought all presidents were cool and none of them were bad.
Yeah.
How quickly times have changed.
Actually, my parents still told me that. I will say this, and I've made my own judgments since.
Yeah.
But my parents did not like Democrats when I was a child.
Oh, I thought they were all cool when I was a kid. I was ignorant to all that. I thought, who cares?
No, dude. I'm telling
Different
you,
points
I
of
was
view.
learning. I think that's something that also allowed me in homeschooling. I learned a lot about politics early on, about it as a child.
Yeah.
Not as in depth as I know now, obviously, but I knew names and I knew certain facets of government.
I used to think it was all rigged and who cares?
I think that's the problem with a lot of people.
Yeah.
That also comes from.
It's the largest portion of our voter base in this country. Is the people that
the vote doesn't matter.
Well, the people that don't vote.
Yeah.
Mostly because they feel it doesn't matter.
Isn't it funny?
I think it's like 40%.
No, it's only. I think it's only that vote
that do not vote. I think it's
no,
40 something.
More people don't vote than vote.
Yeah, but I think the people that don't vote, I think it's like 45% or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the rest is dispersed across left and right and center.
Mm-hmm. It's
But I've changed.
I guess that's up to an opinion. That can totally be debated.
Well, there's data that shows it. But I've changed. I don't think that it's all rigged anymore. I mean, I think Trump pretty much proved that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my big wake up call.
Yeah, that was the slap in the face.
I was like,
the system was still alive.
I was like, what? He could win? I thought it was gonna be.
Dude,
all the polls told me that.
Remember the leak for the Madam President book?
Oh yeah.
That was ridiculous. That was a joke.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've had a lot of good experiences from homeschooling, and I cannot.
You don't regret not going to public.
I wanted to play sports. I wanted to play football. I think I would have been awesome at football.
That would have been cool.
I would have never.
I was never the sports person. I tried it.
Yeah,
those were my dark days.
You tried sports?
Never made a shot. No, I made shots in practice, but
so did I.
I was never very good at basketball. I did basketball. I don't know. I just didn't put enough time into it. Probably because I felt like I was forced to do it. I wasn't really wanting to do it. My brother's the athlete. He's in the Army. He wants to be a ranger. He wants to eventually get to that point, which is good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's definitely the fearless one of the family. I mean, there's things that I would
not even like in a dangerous way, but like you might not see him for a long time if he did that.
Well, the first thing he told me was he wanted to be a paratrooper. I was like, "Are you serious?
Oh, shit, you're gonna
fly. You want your life to be just high octane, I guess." But it's definitely something like having a brother like that with such a fearless mentality and like optimistic attitude about things that some things that I would not do myself. It's very inspiring to me. I used to very much dislike him. I'm talking like when we were little. Like he would just always annoy me. He always wanted to follow me around and go wherever I went, especially when it came to like my friends on the block, because I had neighbors. We all hung out in the streets. Remember when we would hang out on the street all day?
Yes.
I used to do that.
I remember doing that.
I don't think kids do that anymore.
No, they stay inside.
I think they hang out in their virtual streets. Yeah, like Fortnite.
Stupid.
Fortnite is
childhood.
I mean, you have a Fortnite chair, but Fortnite is
Don't
not
talk about my Fortnite chair. It's got a footrest.
Well, it's nice. It's purple. I assume that's why you got it. Fortnite is not my game.
No,
it's taken over the world.
I just like the color. I'm sorry. I just like the color of the chair.
How is it that Fortnite has had DC and Marvel in the same
because China owns
crossover game?
Because China owns Disney.
We can't even get a new Marvel vs. Capcom. A good one. Infinite does not count. Sorry, Randy. I know you made it this far, Randy.
I'm not sorry about that. Should have kept playing DBZ, Randy.
Yeah. I guess Maximilian dude was saying like I guess they polled him. Capcom asked him, or Marvel, I should say, asked him, who would you want in the next game? And he just told them all Capcom characters. And it's Marvel. They don't facilitate that side of the IPs. And he was like, I'm sorry, I have to go with, he started listing Street Fighter people, Bionic Commando, like Monster Hunter, like he was.
Wait, is there rumors there's another one coming out?
think it's so. Then the latest rumor is Ono, who's like been the producer for majority of Capcom fighting games, including Marvel vs. Capcom. He's being outed, like he's leaving. And the reason for that is he was contributing to the delays and like the pure development hell of Marvel vs. Capcom 4, which is supposed to. It should have been out. I'm sorry, Street Fighter 6 was the one that should have been out by now, but that's being pushed to like 2023, I believe. And then Marvel 4, who knows when that's coming out? But it's primarily because of Ono and his leadership, or lack thereof.
I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh, that was my favorite.
I know a lot of people shit on it. But
that was my first one.
That was my favorite one.
That was my first one.
I like 2, but no, I like 3.
I have no connection to 2. I never played that one.
I'll whoop your ass with Sentinel.
Well, 3 was amazing. Sentinel, oh gosh, Angel used to love using Sentinel. He would spam with She-Hulk, like the kick flip, like the dolphin kick. He would just spam that.
God.
And when she eventually, when she eventually died, he would just bring Sentinel and
just do the kick.
He would just
again.
whip me. Oh yeah, he would just use the laser beams on me.
I just use the kick. On people who use, I don't like. So like David, when I play him,
it's such a good game though.
He uses a lot of combos. I just kick him.
Oh god,
kicking him in the air.
David, me and David one time went at it.
Do you remember that time?
We went at it till 6 a.m.
At my house.
Yes, it was
I remember.
insane.
And he was like, he was trying to do this.
And
like,
our eyes are
combo,
red.
And you're like, I just want to go to sleep.
I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. I'm hangry, and we're just going at it. That game is special.
Do you remember when we bought? Do you remember we got Mortal Kombat and we were playing with Vaughn?
I remember going to your house.
And do you remember?
And you were so into it that you had like on a dry erase board.
Dude,
you had the combos.
I'd never played a fighting game before, so I was actually learning how to do fighting combos because I didn't.
You actually wanted to be serious.
I really wanted to be seriously
invested.
Learning. Yeah. I was learning how to play the game, and I would actually practice.
That was me with Injustice, the first Injustice. I practiced all night with Batman.
And I remember, I went to play Vaughn, who was like an expert player, and I whooped his ass as Casey Cage. Like it was a flawless victory, dude.
Oh, poor Vaughn.
Vaughn got so pissed off at me. He went ham
I think
on
he
me.
stopped playing Mortal Kombat.
He went ham on me, like, and just obliterated me in 2 flawless victories in a row.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, I was like, wow, I really, but it was funny. He could see how serious he got because he was whooping my ass the entire time. And I finally beat him once, and he was like, he picked Shinnok, dude.
Yeah. Fighting games are definitely my weakest area when it comes to gaming knowledge. But I did grow up like when I had the GameCube. I was exposed. I think it's
because we missed that arcade. It's not that I missed the arcade era. We hit the tail end of the arcade era, and I played fighting games in arcades. I remember playing Fight Stick and fighting games,
like like Street Fighter 3.
Yeah, and so I did play those games, but it was like I was actually more interested in beat 'em ups. So I used to play. My favorite arcade game was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time.
Oh, I love the Simpsons game.
Dude, that was my second one. That was like equally. Dude,
that was my game.
Those are the only 2 games that I've ever beaten.
If I went to Chuck E. Cheese, that's why I wasted my.
I said,
yeah. It went to the Simpsons.
Stupid tokens. I could not believe how people wasted their money on cheap plastic prizes.
So my money always went to Simpsons and Jurassic Park.
That's exactly what I played. I played the Simpsons Jurassic Park at the Chuck E. Cheese in Pico.
That's all I needed.
Dude, that's all I used to play was the Simpsons arcade. I probably spent like $30 every time I used to go there.
You know, I recently went.
I used to beat it. I didn't just like play it.
Yeah,
I beat the game every time I went.
No, I never beat Jurassic Park.
I beat the Simpsons game.
I got to the pterodactyls and I just got destroyed.
Oh, that's where I used to get, and I used to say,
and then you just lose for some reason.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, you put more money in. Oh, shit, it went back to the beginning of the game.
That's how they get you. Oh, no. You got to go all the way back and just put more money. I went in there recently into Chuck E. Cheese.
Uh-huh.
That's what we're talking about. It's small.
Is it? Is it smaller than you remember?
Yes, then I remember. I think as a kid, it looks huge.
It looks huge.
But when I went in there, I'm like, this crap is like...
There's a lot of stuff missing now.
It's like a cubicle.
Is the playpen still there?
The tubes that we would run around in as kids, like the tubes, and you wave.
You're like, how do I fit in here?
Remember, you look out the window and you waved your parents. It's all corny and like the tubes look like
sausages.
They were way small.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember one time I went to Chuck E. Cheese and my cousins went with me and my brother, and the one time we did spend money on tickets, I think we only spent like $10, and my cousins went to it was the ball throw,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that weird one. You throw it into the points.
Well, my cousin was up at the top, and we created an assembly line of just handing him the ball, and he was just putting it in the 100.
Yeah.
And we did it for like 10 minutes straight, just 100 points straight the entire time. Dude, I walked over to the counter with like a bear hug full of tickets.
I was that guy that just wasted my tickets on stupid stuff. Like, I remember giving him all of my tickets to get like an eraser.
Dude, I'll never. That's why I tell you that I was playing the video games because I didn't want.
And then like when you're older, you go to Dave and Buster's. Remember Dave and Buster's? You go there and you're like, whoa, this is way better. They have Xboxes that you can win and like actual prizes that you would actually like want.
Care about.
They didn't have like fake bug toys.
But Dave and Buster's now, you can go to Dave and Buster's and play arcade games at Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
And drink alcohol.
I thought it was cool. They put your money on a card and you swipe the card.
Dude, that's crazy. I think it's about time we wrap this up, Matt.
You think so?
Yeah.
I can go all night.
So can I.
But maybe we should probably just end it here.
And thank you for coming on the CableTime podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, dude, it was a blast.
You better let me on again.
Oh, you're going to have to try to make me not let you.
Okay.
No, it was really fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Enjoyed it. This is episode 3. If you liked what you heard, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. Put whatever you want. I don't know. This is kind of a weird outro. If you have any ideas of what we should cover next or any ideas for any other further podcasts, please let us know. You can reach Matt through me.
Yes.
Because I don't know where to reach him.
Yes, just talk to him.
If you have any ideas for anything that maybe we could even talk about, just comment it and let us